Hi everybody, it's David Fleming here from the Toronto Realty blog, and welcome to this week's Pick 5. So we're 1 week into the month of May and change. And so far what I have seen in May, as I wrote on my blog on Wednesday, is absolutely a gong show. Things were busy in March, things were really busy in April, and now we're starting to see things ramp up to what I would call peak season. So historically, folks, May is probably the busiest month. I think a lot of people think that June is because, June is a little bit warmer and a little bit nicer and everyone's a little bit happier, but I really think May is the peak season. So what we're seeing now is a massive increase in inventory, but we're also seeing sales go up too. So if you look at the April numbers, again, as I wrote on my blog, you saw that listings were down. Year over year, I believe it was 0.9%, so moderately, but sales were up about 17%. So if you have sales up and you have listings down, prices, of course, are going to increase, and that is what we saw with a 1.9% increase year over year and 4% month over month. So again, as I wrote in my blog, not pumping the blog, but there's a lot of overlap. I'm not a listing agent, like a listing agent per se. The guy that's on the PTA and he's handing out pies in the park and that sort of thing and face everywhere. I work with buyers, I work with sellers, across the globe, right? The globe, across the board is what I meant to say. And yet I find myself with 13 listings this month. That's a lot. That is a lot of listings for me in a given month. And that's really, again, just as an anecdotal evidence, that's to me really what's going on in the market is somebody like myself, who maybe does 4 or 5 listings a month, all of a sudden inventory is massively up. And of those people, yes, a few of them are people that have bought and are now selling, but I've also got a lot of people that, somebody selling the house after 30 years, they've chosen May. An investor decided to move out the condo, they've chosen May, and so on and so forth from there. So anecdotally, what is going on in the market, the month of May, from what I can tell, people are listing. So this week, I wanted to go back to something that I've done before. Of course, I've done everything before, and that is the 2-bed, 2-bath house. Now, the reason I want to go back to this is for the complete opposite reason that I would have done it the last time. Let me explain. I used to talk about 2-bed, 2-bath houses as an opportunity to get into the housing market instead of the condo market because lacking that third bedroom made things affordable. Not anymore. And that's what I'm going to show you today. What I'm seeing, and I love examining trends, and I love actually showing this trend grow and happen through a Pick 5 like the following, is that I'm seeing people say, they used to say, well, we can't get the 3-bed, 2-bath, we'll buy, the 2-bed, 2-bath, because, maybe we'll have kids whenever, maybe we have one kid, maybe, I don't know, they can live in the unfinished basement. But they were making that sacrifice, or, I should say, or, they were saying, we're not interested in the condo, we want a freehold. Now, what I'm seeing is people are scraping and clawing to get anything they can. And it's pushing the price point of the 2-bed, 2-baths up to an area where I would say, depends on the client, but I have a hard time taking a couple of 31-year-olds with a newborn and putting them in that 2-bedroom house knowing that they're going to outgrow it pretty quickly. Now, I'm an honest guy, and what I tell my clients is the following. It's very expensive to move. I'm honest. Real estate agents, they get paid to sell real estate, right? 5% or as little as, 2.6, it depends on the business model, right? But it costs money to sell. Lawyers get paid too. You pay the lawyer on the sale of your property, pay the lawyer on the purchase of your new property. And then the city of Toronto and the province of Ontario, they get that air tax, as I call it, the tax for nothing, the tax for no reason. Oh, you're moving? Land transfer tax. We need to transfer it. They charge a $75 fee to pay the tax. So if you want to pay them 20 grand, it costs you 75 bucks, but you didn't know that. I call it the air tax because it is completely arbitrary. It's like saying, if you want to breathe the air, perfect. If you want to, you're moving, okay, I'm going to take that. Yes, I guess somehow it's tied to the property. But we pay property tax for services. So don't tell me that land transfer tax has a purpose except to take $1 billion a year and put it in the pockets of the governments. Anyways, that is my rant. I'm 5 minutes in. So without further ado, I'm going to show you these 5 properties. Now, these 5 properties all have merit. But how much is the question? So we look at a property like this at 109 Hellingdon. So at $789, and this is what these things used to sell for before it was, now we're well over that, unfortunately. But at $789, this is a great alternative to a condo. This is an opportunity for somebody to say, I don't want to have my first baby in my condo like I did. So maybe I don't need a 3-bedroom. I can live in this for a few years. I can live in this for 5, 8 years. I want a to own my own place and I want to pay down equity. And here it is. So 109 Hellingdon on the map. It's actually a decent little spot. So Coxwell and Danforth. And, you know, perfect world, obviously you would be further closer to Pape, but this is not a bad little pocket. And I have clients on almost all of these streets. Mosteto, Roseheath, and I have one on, where is it, Earl Hague and Hanson. I went down at Hanson, down in here. You know who you are. So it's a nice little spot. East Lynn, West Lynn, beautiful street. There's this park over here. You're a stone's throw from the subway. And the property itself's not too bad, right? We have a 2-bed, 2-bath. This here, front parking, don't know if it's legal or not. And then you've got the covered porch, which you know I always like, because as I always say, no one sits in the front porch and watches the world go by. We're too busy for that, so let's cover this and let's put storage, right? Shoes, perfect. I would have taken them out for the listing, and we got a wardrobe in there. Okay, so inside the house, you have the staircase running up the center. Another theme for today. Pay attention, because here we have drywall. Remember that. Remember that. The stairwell running up the center of the house. It splits the house in half. So you're going to have your living space here and your dining space here on either sides of this wall. Some people really don't like that. Now the smaller version, this is your kitchen and you actually have no dining room. But this has a little bit more room back here. So you've got the kitchen, nice antique corner cabinet, probably not as modern as you would like. Okay, so here we've got what looks like a double bed pushed against the wall. This person's going to bang their head. So again, we know that this room is way too small for all of this stuff. Too much stuff. We accumulate too much stuff. And here we've got, oh, hello. It's almost like I was foreshadowing this. I actually didn't see this, but it looks like they've got a kid. So why are they moving? Are they having a second kid? Can they not afford to stay in this house? Is it growing, or are they outgrowing it? Words today. And there's your basement. This house really could have used some better staging. Low ceiling, carpet. They only have 15 photos. Okay, so there we go. And nice little backyard. Definitely have kids. Okay. So it's not a bad house, guys. It's a decent lot. And, okay. And again, they have, see this, lane parking. So when I had said, I don't know if this is legal, right? I'm not going to look it up because I honestly don't know what that is. The parking itself is back here. This is the parking off the back. So that is a legal lane. So you have a 2-bed, 2-bath, downstairs, 2-piece in the basement, so you don't have a second shower, and you've got a parking space. Now, layout, can we zoom in here? How do we do this? How do we do this? There we go. I don't know if this is working, but I'm going to show you. So see this little bump out here? This gives you, and this isn't working for me, this here gives you an extra space where you can put your kitchen, because if an original footprint or a different version of this house, this would be your kitchen. You have a little dining table against the wall, and then all of a sudden, with your living room here and the staircase here, you have absolutely no eating space. So this works. It's more a matter of what is this thing going to sell for. So let me show you a comp. 123 Drayton. So this is on a 14 by 100, and this sold in February. So it's sold in February. It has no parking, and it's right around the corner on a 14 by 100, 2-bed, 2-bath. Now this, a 1-piece bathroom, means it's not really a bathroom. Is there a photo of it? I bet there isn't. But it's a very, very nice house, and it's sold for $865. So this is actually, to me, a better house, but it has no parking. So this is the comp that you want to use. So when we're looking at this guy here at 109 Hillingdon, and let me show you exactly where Drayton was. Okay, so here's Hillingdon, and here's Drayton. So it's 1 block away. It's a really good comp, and it's recent. We've got a 14.83 by 9.3, and over here, we had a 14 by 100. Very similar lot, better house, no parking. So what's our good friend 109 Hillingdon going to sell for? To me, based on that comp, it's worth $840. Now it may sell for more and it may sell for less, and that's the tough part for buyers. You've got to figure out, what do you want to spend, what do you value at, and if you pass, if your agent's telling you, well, you know, there's 3 offers being sent back, we're already at $840 and you're going to have to go to $860, you have to decide, do I want to pay in and around the same price as this one? And that's where the margins get really thin. You got to know your walkaway price. Okay. The next one here is 121 Parkmount. So where is 121 Parkmount Road? It is not too far away. So here's Coxwell, as mentioned. And we have Drayton was where the comp was, and Hillingdon was where the subject property was. So again, pretty similar location. And the house itself, a little bit bigger. You can see from the top. This is an Edwardian. There's definitely more size. I don't think there's a half story up here, FYI. Now this is on a 13.42 by 124, so it's a narrow lot. But the second bathroom is full. It's in the basement. and it belongs to your tenant because it has a basement apartment. So this is one where the price should be pushed because you're getting money out of the basement. And I think that's going to make this $799, which is probably $900, a lot more affordable. Let's take a look at the photos here, guys, because it's actually a really nice house. Love the shot of the lockbox on the front, right? Really well put together, great layout. Come on, MLS. Come on. There we go. So original freestanding walls, as you can tell. A lot of people like to take that down and open it all up. It works if you do it properly. If you don't, you literally just walk in. There's no foyer, there's no closet, there's no coat rack, there's nothing. You're just in your house, right? See that wall over there. But to be honest, I'd say more people are taking these walls out than are not. So real dining room, and again, you can tell the staircase is on the other side of the house, unlike the one in Hellingdon. So we've got a really narrow kitchen, and here's a little eat-in at the back. Looks like they did maybe a little IKEA reno or something. That's not bad, San Pellegrino. And okay, so this is upstairs. So this is what they call their +1. So they've got a TV here. It's not plugged into anything. It's clearly a staging TV. They have an open concept space they do not know what to do with. So of course they are calling that the den. Pocket doors, not too shabby. Looks like the bedroom is a decent size. And see what I mean, right? So it's not really, I mean, you know what, I guess it's more space if you really wanted to use it. I think if you had kids, this would be a play area. And you know, if you don't have kids, once you move in, you're going to do something with this space. But for staging, that's what we do. So here you see, I like the look like original pine floors, his and hers closets, and they've got this here. So this is a bigger house, and this should go for more than Hellingdon. It's also a little bit further west. Great space, really great bedroom. So that's the second bed, renovated bath. And what about the basement? So there's your basement apartment. I know it looks like crap, right? Because it's a basement apartment in Toronto. The rest of the house is beautiful. The basement is not so much, but you're putting a tenant in here. And you know what you're probably charging them? God, I don't know, $1,300, right? It's basically a bachelor. So the rub here for me is if you're buying the 2-bed, 2-bath because you can't afford the 3-bed and because you're just trying to get into the market, now you don't get your basement. So it's already small enough. You're down a bedroom. Do you know that I get a virtual tour for all my listings and it has my name, right? My contact info? Like, why wouldn't it? No, MLS says no. Treb, because they're, you know, never mind. No, you can't have that. So no problem. I'll put a link to a virtual tour that has no contact information whatsoever, no branding. It's just so ridiculous. God, I hate Treb. I said that. I did say that. Sale price, I guess, you know, my guess is they want $1 million for this. That's my guess, 100%. That is what they're looking for. They may even be looking for more. Do I think it's worth it? No. We're going to look at some stunners now. Okay, ready for that was just for effect. Now we're in prestigious Riverdale. This is 135 Withrow. I have clients on both sides of this. Done a lot in Withrow, actually. So Withrow, there are a lot of these snug, small little houses. So small, in fact, that you have to take a portrait photo instead of landscape. So this is gorge, as people say. Now, it's not just the really well-apportioned staging, it's also original features like this, right? Crown mold is beautiful, pot lights. This isn't working, but it's a very cool piece. So again, it's only a 2-bed, 2-bath. This is what I meant when you take out the freestanding walls, you walk in and there's just, hello, I'm inside my house. So no hall closet, it's the least of your worries. You're in Riverdale. You got a table for 6, and then you've got, well, that's not a bad shot, and then you've got a pretty big kitchen. Now, if you're like me, you're 5'11" and named Dave. No, if you're like me, you're already looking at this back sunroom. Now, they're calling this a family room. This crown mold is awful. They're calling this a family room. Is it a family room or is it just like a little sunroom? Because this is the big difference with this house. And this is what's going to push this thing well over $1 million. MLS, there's always one photo that doesn't work, and it's so frustrating. Where is it? I have to get this photo. Number 9, because I know that's going to be the family room. Where is it? Here we go, George. Ah! Can we zoom in on this? Is there any way to zoom in on this? I don't know what's happening on the screen. I'm going to assume we're zooming in on this. That is the family room. So yes, it's a sunroom-ish, but this bump out, I'm going to try it one more time. Damn it. Freaking hate MLS. So this bump out here, I just literally did that again. This here that I hope we're zoomed in on now with this giant mouse hand is the main floor family room. So no, it's not your typical family room, and it feels kind of like you're in a greenhouse, but it gives you that extra room. So we'll continue going here because this is the bedroom. It's nice, and you do not have this slant coming at your head like at the Hellingdon house. Nice built-in, still love the beautiful crown molding. I actually like their colors, kind of pastel-y in nature. We've got a clawfoot tub, which I hate. Bathing like this, it reminds me of the cartoons when they'd flash back to like the 1800s. People always took baths in a barrel. You know, like think about cartoons. Think about like, I don't know, I want to say Bugs Bunny, but like any cartoon, and they'd always have the guy washing his own back in a barrel. When I was a kid in the 80s, I wanted to bathe in a barrel, and my mom said, you're being ridiculous. But every time I see this clawfoot tub with this handheld, it reminds me of doing one of these, like a cartoon. Okay, so I don't know why they don't get a real shower. Second bedroom, good size. And then the basement, great ceiling height, and you've got that extra room. So this thing, guys, has no parking. This is the backyard, nicely landscaped. This thing's going well over $1 million. There's absolutely no question whether it's going over $1 million. It's a question of how much. Now, I remember selling a house on Withrow to clients, and I remember I said to them, this will be the last 3-bedroom house that ever sells in Riverdale for under $1 million. And I think we got it for like $985. It was a bully offer. I'm filming. And you know, looking back, it's one of those situations where I think they were a little bit nervous, and I don't want to say I'm pushing them, but you know, you wake up the next morning and you say, David, thank you so much for giving us that push. Like, happy there, kids now, I don't know what it's worth, you know, $1.3 million. But that, I remember, that was the moment. I said, this is the last opportunity you're gonna have to get into Riverdale. Because we had made a bid in like the upper beaches triangle kind of thing, and I was like, no, this is Riverdale. House needed some TLC, but you got a 3-bed, 2-bath in Riverdale. So now here we are at $899. It's only a 2-bed. It's only a 2-bath. It has no parking, but you have the main floor family room addition, and you also have that basement room. This is 1-1 all day. If it goes for less than 1-1, I think someone got a deal. If it goes for more than 1-1, welcome to Toronto, right? Anyways, so point being about 2-bedroom houses, guys, like I said, I used to do this feature, and I used to talk about how to get in under $800,000 for a 2-bed, 2-bath, and I used to talk about the value that exists. Now we're looking at a house that's on a 17-foot lot with no parking, and I'm talking about how it's a deal at $1.1 million. Okay, moving along here. I gotta run soon. 245 Springdale. This one's interesting for one reason only. Offers anytime. Hello, offers anytime at $899. Rhymed. It reminds me of every book I read to my daughter. I hate the books. Do you know sometimes when I read books to my daughter, I just start making things up. I'll just flip the pages and I'll tell a way, way better story. Like, we don't have an imagination, and they just sit there like this. They don't move. Or they got Bunny. My daughter gets Teddy. Let me show you a cute picture of my daughter. I think that came up. That was her yesterday. I was like, wow, I'm the worst dad. I never see her. I'm going to see my kid tonight. Like, that's exciting, right? Because I don't do that a lot. Anyways, okay, David, stop talking and move on. Great, so 245 Springdale, $899, offers any time. Where is 245 Springdale? Well, let me show you. We are in between Coxwell and Woodbine in this grid here, where everything is crisscrossing east-west, and you get up to Mortimer. The further north you go, obviously the further you are from the subway. You don't want to be on Strathmore because you can feel the subway, but from there, every successive street value you think you get a little bit lower. In theory, on paper, not always, but Wolverley's a great street, then Gleepholm, then Milberton, etc. So Springdale, great street. You don't want to be on this side of Woodbine because it gets a little not as nice, as they say, but awesome location. And the funny thing about this is that it's a detached house, and it's $899, offers any time. So detached house, and what does it look like inside? Well, it's certainly not going to look like the last one, but notice the side staircase. And look how small this room is. It literally, this is the foyer in some people's big mansions. They've left a half wall here, right? As I said, when you open it up completely, you just walk right in. Here they've left a half wall, so at least you have a few more options for how to position your furniture. This is really not a big house. And it's funny because, as I said, it's detached. And it's still $899. So staircase running up the middle, they've opened it up. You let a little bit more light through. You've got your dining room. They only have a 4-person round. And they've got a really nice kitchen. It's nicely done. It may not be your style, but I don't know. kind of works for me. So I'm having a hard time figuring why this is only $8.99, offers any time. It looks good, like it's not huge, but it's detached. You're paying the detached premium. This looks really old to me. And there's your little bump out at the back. That's the +1. Okay, wow, that's brutal. Okay, wait, no shower? Oh, another one of these. Okay, so yes, there's your basement bedroom. And there's your basement bathroom. There's no shower in this house. That's brutal. Wow. Wow. Mudroom. And your backyard. Okay, so let's review. We have no parking space. We have 2 full bathrooms. Neither of them have, this says 4-piece. That handheld does not count. We have 2 beds, and we have that little +1. We're 20 by 100. We're $8.99. Offers any time. So to me, this is the best of all of them. Like, it really is. Like, $8.99. It's rare that I sell houses for under $1 million. But the house in Riverdale, if that's 1.1 or even more, you're in Riverdale, right? Okay, so go down to the, what's it called? Riverdale Peak. My brother literally used to live around the corner from that. I have 1 million clients in there. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying, yeah, if you can afford it, perfect, do it. But $8.99 for a detached house, steps to the subway, I mean, like, that's pretty darn good. So now we're going to go to the last one. Wow. Okay. You ready? Yeah. Okay. So this one's, pretty nicely renovated, right? Yeah. Done. As I say, real good. No, all jokes aside, this thing's going to go for a number. And it's a nice renovation, super modern, right? We've got the glass here instead of the wrought iron and spindle. They did a really good job on this. A lot of it's staging. Piece like this, right? Piece like this. A lot of it's staging. But it's really, really nice, and it's on Springhall. So this thing's going to do pretty well. Now notice the glass here. So when I had told you in the first house, I said pay attention to the drywall. Remember, you couldn't see anything beyond it. Now you can see the entire rest of the house. This house, I think, is going to do amazing. It really, truly is. Nice light fixture. Nice artwork. Okay, so now we're on the other side. So you're with me here, folks? Okay, could have done stainless steel. They didn't. But they got this little room at the back. I'm not really sure what that is. 2 skylights. This has the feel of a house that's going to do really well. So nicely upgraded bathroom. Mirrors. Always put a mirror at the top of the stairs. People see themselves coming up. They want to look at themselves. They want to check themselves out. Massive master. That's a king. Lots of storage. Then you have an unfinished basement. And it doesn't look like it's great ceiling height. So, wow. We're already $1 million. We're listed at $1 million. This is finished down here. Okay, there are more photos. Let me go through them. So we got a bathroom. This photo doesn't work because MLS sucks. Then we've got outside. Boy, do they stage the crap out of this. Holy moly. And then you got parking. Okay, so it's a row house, right? It's in the center. So let's review. We have a row house. We have basement, see it says walk up, so it's unfinished. So we have a row house with an unfinished basement that's starting at $9.99. Holy moly. Where is Springhall? Awesome street. You're in the heart of Riverdale. So the one I had showed you on Withrow, I don't think I pointed out where it is, but I know it off by heart. It would have been right about here. So my brother used to live here. I got clients here and here. And then we're up here on Springhall. So you're a stone's throw from the park. You're walking distance, obviously, to the TTC. And this just has so much curb appeal to it, right? Very cute house, red brick. And just from the first photo, and the listing agent did a really good job on this, see this? Very first photo shows how modern this is. This is going to do well. Now, what I'm curious to know is, why not list it at $8.99, right? Could have listed it at $8.99. It's almost as if strategically they're signaling to the market, oh, we're a lot better than that. It's like they're saying $8.99, you just throw 200 grand, you go, what's it going to sell for? 1.1? They're at $9.99? No, sweetie, we're higher. Now, to me, apples to apples, guys, I don't know. Something about Withrow I kind of like, Like this style to me, this was really nice. Like really, really nice. But the thing about Withrow that I really liked, 2 things. One, you have this room at the back, family room. Let's see if MLS works now. No, of course not, because it's a piece of shit. Okay. And it also had the basement here. So it has no parking space. Springhall has parking, unfinished basement, does not have the family room. Man, I'm taking Withrow. I am taking Withrow. And this is what's so interesting about this, is the two different strategies. So, $9.99. What? $9.99. Big money. We are big money. Remember they used to spin Wheel of Fortune? And I'll go, come on, big money! Come on, big money! My dad used to point it out when I was a kid, and he'd say, only trash watch this show. But Dad, I'm watching this show, and I'm 5. Welcome to my childhood. Anyways, so big money, right? $9.99, big money, and I think I'd rather take Withrow. The parking doesn't really bother me. I like the finished basement. It's deep. I like the bump out on the back, and you know, it's 17 feet, and this is 14. Was that 17? Yeah, 17 by 90. And we're 14 by 92 here. So I think it's an interesting strategy by the listing agent. I really do. And I think it's probably going to work. I think that they are signaling, negotiating term, they're signaling to the market that, you know, they think their house is worth more. And that's it for me, guys. That was depressing. That was really depressing. I've been doing this feature. I don't know how long I've been doing Pick 5 for. Probably 6 years or something. Holy crap. But I've been doing this 2-bed, 2-bath thing for so long. And I always used to say, get a 2-bed, 2-bath house instead of a bigger condo, because now you want a freehold. But now look at what's happening with prices. We're talking 1.1, we're talking 1.2. And I know that Springhall and Withrow are in Riverdale, but my God, what's happening with prices. So I take that detached on Springdale for $8.99 all day. Hell, I would take a rundown 3-bed, 2-bath at a cheaper price, and I put the work into it myself. I really do think, and I'm being honest with you guys here, if you are younger, because I don't know what young is anymore, if you are younger and you're starting a family, or you already have a child and you think you're gonna have 2 kids, the 2-bed, 2-bath, you're gonna be calling me again in 4 years and you're gonna say, we need to move. And you know, not gonna turn you down, I welcome the business, but it's expensive to move. You have to pay a real estate agent, you have to pay a lawyer, you have to pay the city of Toronto, you have to pay the province of Ontario. I think you buy the biggest house that you can afford. And you know, I guess you could build bunk beds, you know, like in Step Brothers. But I think I prefer the 3-bed, 2-bath that's not in as good shape to the 2-bed, 2-bath that's completely, totally done up. So that's it for me, guys. Is it Victoria Day weekend yet? God damn, I need a vacation. Folks, have a fantastic weekend. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.